I really love the slider mechanism, and so as many sliders as I can work into my life I can. Previously, before we had this option, every time we had a sales meeting, I always said, I would love the Bulletproof if it just had the slider mechanism. When can we make that happen? So now that this has come out, I'm really excited to have this as being my main belay carabiner. This is a new product for 2022. So this will be called the HMS Bulletproof Belay FG Eco. As you may well know, our carabiners' names will describe all the features to them. So what we've designed this to be is really the ultimate belay device. So we've included all the features that are the most popular in our other belay carabiners. So that is going to be our bulletproof insert. So stainless steel insert embedded into a lightweight aluminum carabiner. It's going to have our slider mechanism for the gate. So real easy one-handed operation for open and closure. We've updated a new FG design, so our fixed gate down here, this one now actually opens down. So it's really intuitive when you're putting it on that belay loop. It's going to drop right in, and there's no way for it to accidentally come out once you're in there, but yet it's still very easy for you to open and close it and get into your belay device and keep it on that belay loop. So we're really excited about this one. It's also going to have our Eco finish. It will only be available with the Eco non-anodized finish compared to our regular HMS Bulletproofs, who also have the anodized option. It's basically an addition to our HMS Bulletproof family of belay carabiners. It does change pretty drastically. You can see they've got very different shapes to them. So this new one is going to have a little bit of a flatter head, and actually the cross beam up here is going to be a little bit more consistent, whereas with the previous HMS Bulletproof it tapered a little bit more. So this, in a guide mode scenario, will help stay in place better and keep that rope going over top of the steel section better. We found it's much more environmentally friendly just to remove the anodization from the process of manufacturing the carabiner altogether. We don't need to worry about what's happening with those chemicals involved in anodization, where those chemicals are coming from, how they're being remitted before we put them back into the environment. And we found through our testing that removing the anodization doesn't significantly affect the longevity of the carabiner or the corrosion of it. So we're pretty excited about that, and it will only be available in that Eco finish. The HMS Bulletproof Belay FG Eco will be 86 grams, and it's going to be available for $39.95 here in the US. Something you'll notice when you get this carabiner is it does look very different. If you're used to nice, shiny, anodized carabiners, it's going to have a little bit of a duller finish. It almost looks like we've kind of like made it look like an old school carabiner. And the fact is, there's just nothing on it, and so it will have that kind of dull aluminum look to it, but the stainless steel should be nice and shiny for you. This black piece just helps depress the FG as we're opening it. And it's also going to be where the FG settles on there. So while we went with plastic, it's going to be lighter weight compared to if we had made this out of a piece of metal. It's a solid piece, so that shouldn't be an issue. But if you have that happen, like all of Edelrid products, we have a 1-year manufacturer's guarantee. That's definitely something we would look at, and we'd be able to be happy to replace that carabiner. But we have purposely chosen a material and a design that shouldn't be an issue. So we'll have 2 HMS Bulletproof family of carabiners available now, and although they ultimately will do the same purpose, they have some slightly different features, and depending on your personal preference, you might want to choose one or the other. So the HMS Bulletproof Belay will only be available with the slider gate, so if you're interested in the slider gate and having that one-handed action, then this is the way to go. If you'd rather have a more traditional triple locking gate or a screw gate, then you'd want to go with the HMS Bulletproof, because that's what those will be available in. From there, the big difference will be the FG and the way that works. Some people prefer having the gate that lifts up in order for you to drop your belay device into. It's easier to pop off when you're done using it. And some people prefer to have it where the belay loop drops in and then can't come out until you manually open it up. And so that's a little bit of personal preference. From there, functionally, the only thing I've really noticed is, as I mentioned before, the spine of this is a little bit more consistently shaped throughout. And this one's tapered a little bit more. And what I found is in guide mode, when it's tapered, it wants to kind of move around with that taper. With this one, it will stay in place a little bit more when you're belaying someone up in that guide mode belay setup.